Well, hello, welcome to my house. The song that's playing in the background there, you may not be able to hear it. This is my country, and this is who I am. This is one of my brother's songs, Samuel Hall, the founder of Patriots for America Militia. And this is one of his favorite songs, so I'm kind of playing that there in the background. I'm going to cover some of the things that I experienced down at the Texas border. But first and foremost, I want to kind of give you an idea of why I went down there and what led me to take part and make that trip down to Texas from Illinois. We all have been hearing what's been going on in the news in regards to the Texas border. And there's been so much going on that we don't even hear about on the mainstream media news. And I tell you what, going down there and seeing it with my own eyes and experiencing it just totally blew me away. And I want to share some of those things and share some of that experience that I've seen, things that I've heard from individuals that live down there, that live right on the Rio Grande River. Some of the immigrants that we ran across, the sheriff that we met, that I met, actually a couple of them, and the support that Patriots for America has been getting, and that's thanks to Samuel Hall, the founder of Patriots for America. About a month ago or so, I've been watching the news of what's been taking place in our country and what's going on, and so I've been I was going through different YouTube videos and kind of trying to see a little bit more that we're not hearing on the news. And I ran across a video from Patriots for America. And it was an interview that Samuel Hall was doing. And I was pretty impressed with what I've heard and what they're doing, and what he's doing as an individual with his tribe of patriots. And I wanted to reach out to him to see if there's anything that I could do to help. So I sent an email down, Patriots, through Patriots for America, militia.com. You can go on there and check it out for yourself, check out their website. And I saw a tab where I could fill out an application. So I did that. I give a lot of respect to any organization or any group that does a background check on you, that is very particular on who they bring into their organization. Because there are groups, there are different patriot organizations out there that really aren't thorough in who they bring in. And that could be dangerous to not only the group, but to each individual and to a community. And, the mainstream media has done a hell of a job on trying to destroy the word militia and, different patriot groups, trying to make it appear as though they are racist or white supremacists and extremists. We have the right to form an organized militia. It's right here in the Constitution. It says it right here. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. And when law enforcement or government maybe cuts off makes defunding of the police, or they don't provide security for a community, then, what else do we do? That's where we have to make the stand as people, as we the people. And we have to contribute and jump in and put our boots on the ground. It's easy to be on the couch and just watch the news or get on Facebook and just, be a Facebook patriot and do all that. That's easy stuff. But we ain't going to see a change that way. So as I was, going through the Patriots for America Militia.com website, I filled out the application, and then short period of time, Samuel Hall himself had contacted me. And we had conversations over the phone. They ran a background check on me. And I had a week vacation coming up from work. And Sam says, hey, you're cleared. If you want to come down, I've had a good conversation with you. I think you're one of us. I think you make a good team, a good team member of ours. Why don't you come down and check it out, help us put boots on the ground, and, we can use the help. And they can use the help. And so I rented a car, and I had drove down to Texas from Illinois. It was a good 22-hour trip. But I wanted to see for myself. I wanted experience. And that's who I am as an individual, as a person. I was raised by my parents to always help people and always help the community. Anybody that knows anything about me knows that, from being a firefighter, being a city official, an alderman, and joining other patriot groups and going down into areas and helping out during storms and natural disasters, and standing up against Antifa when they're trying to, harm others, harm communities, burn down communities. And they have the defunding of the police, and different cities and community states were having their law enforcement officers stand down against Antifa while they destroyed our communities. I was there to assist and to help out and to back the blue and to help the communities. And, when Antifa would try to destroy things, they needed boots on the ground there through other patriot groups to try to deflect them from doing that. And a lot of times that worked out. And so I've always been into helping and wanted to make things better for our community, for our children, for our grandchildren. Because, we've heard this our whole lives that, our children are our future, and that's an absolute fact. So I went down to Texas, and some of the things that I saw were absolutely heart-wrenching. And, some of the videos and some of the photos that I have, and seeing it with my own eyes, I felt that there's a big need to share it and to explain to the people on what's really happening down at the border. If you have a pipe break in your house, a water pipe break in your kitchen, are you going to stand back in your bedroom or in the living room and wait for that water to come and flood you out? Or are you going to go right to the source and try to fix it and do what you can to stop that from spreading and coming out? Because what's happening down at the border isn't just staying there. It's coming this way. So why would we sit in our living rooms? Why would we sit back and watch the news and wait for it to come to our community, come to our neighborhood, come to our states? We got to do what we can as individuals to stop that from happening, or to at least make attempts to do it. Down in Kinney County, Texas, 1,300 square miles, with the sheriff's department there, 6 deputies, all they have to secure that border town, that county, is 6 deputies. And of course, they have the state come in to help out. They don't have any border patrol in that area that are there monitoring this 1,300 square miles. Governor Abbott ended up sending National Guard to other counties in other areas in Texas and Arizona. But evidently, Kinney County doesn't have enough voters there that really impact him during election time. So he didn't send any National Guard there at all. None. But I tell you what, I give credit, and I solely give credit to Samuel Hall, the founder of Patriots for America, because he's been on Fox News. He's been he's been interviewed by the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and he's been getting out there and explaining why his Patriot tribe has been out at the Texas border, making a stand, putting boots on the ground, protecting the community, helping out the community. These ranchers that are having their ranches, their livestock stolen from them, children and women being raped on their properties, with 6 deputies monitoring that whole 1,300 mile radius. And, Abbott didn't care until now, until recently, until this last week or so, about the last week. He finally sent some National Guard down to Kinney County. And I give that credit solely to Samuel Hall and Patriots for America. Because when they needed help, with the sheriff's department needed help, with support from the Kinney County Sheriff Coe, I was in a meeting when I was down there with Samuel Hall, meeting with the sheriff. That sheriff supports our organization, supports the Patriots for America 110%, because we are law-abiding. We are the hands and feet of Christ, and he knows that. And you know that when you're dealing with people on where they stand with their values, their morals. And that's why we have the support with that county, not just the sheriff, but individuals within that county. appreciative that we went there and that we go there on a regular basis to defend the community, the ranchers as a whole. So, went down there, and not only did we do recon during the day to monitor certain areas and to kind of scope things out, but, one day we were there and we went to a missionary that was there that was handing out food, bags of food to the homeless. And, we took part in that, wanting to help out, give them a helping hand, unloading the trucks and handing out food during the day. During the day, we would do things like that, help out the community. We would do recon. We would surveil different areas, public property and private property that we were allowed to go on, that we'd have approval from the ranchers. Some ranchers would let us on. Some ranchers were kind of leery of it because there's a liability there. And, and there's probably no doubt about it that the cartel, the most dangerous individuals and the coyotes, would threaten ranchers. And they play a big part in all this. Abbott, Governor Abbott, we've been hearing on the news recently that he's allowing the fence to continue, the Trump wall. And let me tell you something. Under the Biden administration, that Trump wall doesn't mean a thing down there. The Trump policies and procedures and all that he had in place when he was president, they come across into the United States and they were being deported back. Under the Biden administration, the policies will allow them, once they get onto U.S. territory, they have to go through the processing procedure, and they're allowed in, a catch and release. And let me tell you what, halfway across the Rio Grande River is the United States of America. Once they reach halfway across the river, they are on our soil, and they are let in, set through the process, and it's that simple and that easy. And I'm going to show you a picture here of, I got all kinds of photos here I want to share with you. Okay, so this is Samuel Hall and myself there. Right behind us there is the Rio Grande River, and we were much closer than this many days there. But this is we're on private land here, and kind of doing some recon, checking out the area. But that's the river, and that's pretty far of a distance away. So once the immigrants were that far into the United States, I mean, like I said, all they had to do is cross halfway across the river, and they were here. And there's nothing, that wall that Abbott says or the fencing and the wall that he's putting up, constructing, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything at all, because all they have to do, once they get halfway across the river, they're here. All they have to do is go through the processing. So that wall and that fence that Abbott is so proud of doesn't mean a thing, because once they get this far, they're here already. So all they have to do is go through the process. It's pretty disgusting. Here's another photo here of Samuel Hall and I, and the gentleman there in the center. He lives right there, right on the Rio Grande. That's his property, right on the other side of that chain link fence right there is his house, his land. And the stories that he had shared with us is just unbelievable. I mean, the amount of stuff that he sees and that he's experienced is just absolutely insane. Like I said, we are the hands and feet of Christ. We don't go there to make arrests. We don't have that authority. We don't go there and detain immigrants when we find them. We don't have that authority. But what we do is, especially with the children and the mothers that we run across and the immigrants, is by the time that we get to them, or we find them on some of this land, they've already been here for a while. They're still trying to make their way across, and they surrender. And we comfort them. I mean, a lot of them are dehydrated. A lot of them are hungry. A lot of them are just ready to give up. And, we stay with them. We comfort them. We pray with them. And we wait for the sheriff to come, or Border Patrol. It's usually the Kinney County Sheriff. And come and take them in for processing. So we do what we can to, make it as easy as for the immigrants as we possibly can. But there are some bad ones out there. We all want to see a better life for these people. A lot of them have been going through hell living where they live. and they want to come here to make a better life for themselves. But there are some really bad people that are coming across. There are terrorists. It's not just, a lot of people are under the impression that all the Mexicans are coming across from Mexico. There's very few that are coming from Mexico. The rest are coming from other countries, and not all of them are good. They want to come and make a better life, but they don't want to do it the way the rest of them are doing it. They don't want to show who they are because maybe they have warrants, or maybe they're wanted in their country. Maybe they were once here in the United States and got deported back because of criminal activity. We found this a ways away, and that's a packet of documents that we found that were just left there because they can't carry this with them. That was inside the packet there. And these are documents from Mexico that they would carry across. But once they're here, they didn't want to be, identified. They can't be identified because, of who they are. They'd be, sent back because there's probably warrants for them from here, or for whatever reason, they didn't want any identification, so they disposed of it. And not just that, but there's a lot of that kind of documents that are scattered throughout our soil because they're just disposing of them. They can't have them in their possession. They don't want to be named. They don't want to be known. What if they do get caught? There are the biggest thing with Patriots for America. One of their main mission is child trafficking. And child trafficking is about almost a $40 billion a year business. That is huge. That's huge what's going on here in this country. And the stories that I hear, that things that I've seen, a lot of it starts there, and it's coming across. A lot of it is happening already in our country, in our own communities. It's happening in your community. It could be a neighbor down the street that you don't even know. It could be somebody that's, just down the street into the next town. But there's a lot of pedophiles. There's a lot of individuals from all walks of life that are wanting to hurt children. True pedophiles. And sex trafficking is one of the biggest things that Patriots for America focuses on. And the things that witnessed down there at the border, I'm going to show you some photos here. Where we would see some of these clothes and children's clothing in the fields, we're a distance away from the river. Really no reason for them to change out their clothes where they were changing them out. And I was always trying to put in my mind, well, maybe it was this reason, or maybe it was that reason, or maybe they just, didn't like wearing those clothes anymore. But that wasn't the truth. That wasn't the what was really going on here. Look at this one right here. This one was really disturbing to me and to us, because we all know that children, our grandchildren, even when we were kids, we'd have a favorite stuffed animal. This little stuffed animal here was taken across the river, was brought over here, and this was probably, I don't know, let's just guess maybe a mile away from the river, dropped there with that little life coat. This jacket couldn't have been any more than a 3-year-old little girl. A lot of these clothes that we were finding were from kids, from mothers, wives. I don't want to say wives, it's females, right? A pair of shorts. I've got all kinds of photos here of clothes that were just left. Look at this little pair of shoes right here from this little girl. Where are these children? Where did they go? Why did they leave their clothes behind? We were walking through a field, and this brush and this terrain is some pretty wicked stuff, man, because these people are out there for days, sometimes months. And, we would walk through during the day doing recon, just kind of looking for things, surveying the properties and the lands before we go out at night, geared up with our, with our guns and with our vests and with our night vision. We would go kind of surveil the areas first and set up cameras and stuff like that. But, the things that we would find during the day It was very disturbing. As we were walking through, I'm going to show you something here. I was walking with Samuel Hall. He was in front of us, and I was walking with another one of my brothers. And I heard him say, and this is my first time there, but this is what they do on a regular basis. He says, "No, don't tell me that's what that is." And Samuel was ahead of us, and he says, "Yes, it is." And I'm like, "What is it?" And my brother says, my Patriot brother says, "Oh my God, no, don't say this. No, don't. I can't see it. I can't go there." And get a good look at that. Those are children's undergarments, underwear, bras, undershirts on a tree. They're called rape trees. That's what they would do to these children and these women. They would rape them right there and hang their clothes on little trees to mark their spot, to mark their territory of where they raped them. We would see this stuff. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. And it wasn't just right across the river. It was, a ways away. What's happening to these children? What's happening to these women? Well, child trafficking. The coyotes own these people, the ones that they smuggle across. They just don't pay a fee to get here. They're owned. A lot of them are owned by these cartels. So when they get here and they get their housing, they get the transportation and all that, they have to continue sending money. They have to do the drug smuggling. They would cut children open and put drugs in their body, fentanyl and other drugs in their body. And once they got here, in the United States, in our land, the cartel and the coyotes would get to those children. They would know everything was timed and everything was figured out. I mean, very well strategic, well planned out. And they would get those children, get the drugs out of them, and leave the children there to die. This is happening in our country, in America. Things that you aren't going to see or hear about on the mainstream media news. But it's true and it's real. And there's not enough being done about it. It's being ignored by our government. And that's why I'm so blessed that we have, and we should all be blessed and thankful that we have individuals and organizations like Patriots for America and all of these patriots of this tribe that come together to want to make a difference, to want to stop this, or do whatever they can to deter them from doing what they do. Our presence alone, when we are there on property or driving through property, we deter them from taking the route that they're taking. A lot of them go back, they don't know who we are. They don't know if we're law enforcement, and they're very dangerous individuals. We have to be very careful of what we do. We always have to have each other's back. We always have to be aware of our surroundings because they don't like us either. They don't like law enforcement. And they don't like anybody getting in their way to stop them. And they have no problem pulling that trigger or doing whatever they have to do because they have a business to run with smuggling immigrants over here, getting their drugs over here, and getting the children over here and the women over here so they can traffic. Like I said, it's a $38 or $40 billion business a year for child sex trafficking. It's huge here in America. Right underneath our nose, right underneath our eyes, it's happening in our own communities. Wherever you see a brothel in your community, or a massage parlor, any of that, there's a very good chance that there's underage kids in there doing this stuff. And it's being ignored, it's being overlooked. It has to stop. And there's not enough being done about it. Every day that we would wake up in the morning, we had this wonderful house mother there for us, Rhonda. She would make us breakfast. She would do things like that. And then there's my brother, Terry. I walked down the stairs the very first day there, and he's got the Bible in front of him. We would pray before we eat. We pray before we go out. We are the hands and feet of Christ, man. And I tell you what, it shows because, the things that we were seeing and the protections that we had, we're doing God's work. And he gives us the wisdom and the shield and the protection that we need to get out there and do what we do. We don't pretend to be law enforcement. We let them know we're not there. We can't detain them. They're free to go, but we're there to help. We're there to give them water, food, try to convince them to, just wait till the sheriff gets there so they can, go through that process. A lot of them are tired. The last group of immigrants, they were out. It was dark out. It was cold. All they had on was regular clothing. They had no food. We gave them water. We prayed with them. And they just wanted a better life. That's what they said. They just wanted a better life. They were here for over 40 days in this rough terrain, just trying to get to make a better lives for themselves and for their family. And, there's wild animals out there. There's snakes. There's wild boar. Things that they run across. They don't have tents. They don't have sleeping quarters. They're sleeping on the ground, on the hard ground in brush. And this stuff is pretty gnarly. I mean, this was just one day. If you look at see my arm there, I mean, that's just from the brush. We were just during the day. We weren't geared up or anything because we were doing recon that day. But there was somebody out there on private land that we had authority to be on by the ranch owner. Somebody was, we spotted somebody running through the woods there, or through the brush. And this stuff, there's cactus, there's thorns, there's all kinds of things, man. And going through there, and I can't imagine, the things that they have on their bodies from, running away, running through all this terrain and through this wild brush and all that, day after day after day. Like I said, some for weeks or months to try to just get here and try to get to a more peaceful place. And a lot of them go through a lot of stuff, and they die out there. Sometimes they're not even recognized because they're out there. They're dehydrated when it's hot. They don't have food. They die of hunger out in the fields. And there's times where, like I said, they don't have documentation, so they can't be identified. There's a lot of John Does in the morgues if their bodies are located. And by that time, the animals get to them. You can't even recognize them anymore. I mean, they come from a country where there's no dental records and stuff like that. These are mothers, these are fathers, these are children that are dying out there, that are being killed and raped and molested by evil people. And of course, this has been going on for years, man. But this year, with what Biden's been doing, so much worse, so much worse. He just made it worse, and he doesn't care. They're turning their back on not just the American people, but these people are coming into our communities. These bad people are coming into our communities. And if you don't think that things are going to not start happening in your community, you're wrong. Because a lot of these bad people, they don't have morals and ethic. I mean, they don't have that heart that we have. They don't have the upbringing that we have. The only thing that they know is crime and how to, steal from people and rob from people and just break into homes and rape women and children. This is happening constantly, and we're not hearing about it. I'm saying all this stuff, but you're not going to read about it in the news. They want to hide a lot of this stuff, and they have been hiding a lot of it. And it's disgusting. It's horrible. And I had no idea until I went down there. I'm up on the news. I'm up on politics. I mean, a lot of you who know me know that I'm a rebel rouser, man. I confront issues. I stir the pot. I'm a pot stirrer, man, and I don't care because, I'm not going to sit back. I'm not going to sit back and just let stuff like this happen. We can't. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. I know there's some things that I get into that's a little bit extreme, like, this whole vaccine thing going on. It's just, I don't believe in that either, but I believe it's good for I believe it's good for the immune compromised people and the elderly. But man, this country is just doing some tyrannical things, taking our freedoms away. And all these immigrants and all these people from other countries are wanting to come here because we are land of the free. But we're losing that here. We are losing that, and people can't see it. People don't see it. Unless you go down to the border and see this thing for yourself, you'll never know. You'll never know. You know, something may happen in your community where somebody gets molested or a missing child. But look at all these missing children in this world, in this country alone. You know, these posters that we see, these children are being harmed. And there's not enough being done about it. Anybody that wants to help out, we're always looking for Patriots for America. Go on to the website, patriotsforamerica.militia.com. If you're interested and you're the type that wants to put boots on the ground and you're law abiding and you don't have a criminal background, you're not a felon or anything like that, you know, fill out an application. We could use the help. I'm working to start a chapter here in Illinois. We have child trafficking in Chicago, throughout our small communities here. There's a lot going on. There's a lot that we can do, you know, and it's nothing that we can just do without training and stuff like that. But that's what we do. That's what we're getting into. That's what I'm learning, because I care about children. I care about what's happening in our communities and in our country. And you need to also. You need to also. And you may not be able to join the group or be the type that wants to strap a gun or a vest on and put the boots on the ground. That's completely okay. That's completely okay. There's other ways that you can support without anybody even knowing. You can go to the website. You know, there's expenses. You know, there's travel expenses. There's housing. There's food. You know, we eat when we're down there, and you know, we've been getting a lot of good support, but there's costs. There's cost to it all. Even if you could donate $5, $10, $15, $20, $100, whatever, even if it's $5, you know, all of that stuff helps out. You'll find a tab on the website to go there. You'll see, do a little bit more research on our organization, Patriots for America, and you'll see what we're doing. You know, this just isn't about the border of, you know, protecting private property and ranchers and the community. We do so much more, whether it's, you know, a natural disaster, a big storm that comes through. I assure you that if I didn't go to Texas a couple weeks ago, I would have been down in Kentucky helping out down there with the storms and the issues that they had down there. Because that's what we do as patriots. That's what we do to do our part, whether it's here in our own community or other communities. Because we are a nation. We are a nation under God. We are the hands and feet of Christ. If you're like-minded like that, check out the website. Go there and you know, just check it out. You know, if you're interested, you can contact me, Rodney Elijah, on Facebook, or message me. I'll get you in the right direction. Fill out the application, and like I said, you know, we don't need no radicals. We don't need anybody that wants to just gear up and go hurt people. We don't do that. You know, we'll stand up and we can stand our ground. I say the hands and feet of Christ. But I tell you what, anybody tries to harm us, cartel or whoever, Antifa, we stand our ground and we'll fight it. We'll fight it. We'll do what we have to do to protect us and protect our neighbors and protect the citizens of whatever community. You know, people say, well, that's law enforcement's job. Yes, it is. But when they're working to defund the police and police officers are retiring and police officers are quitting and they're not providing law enforcement for certain communities, that's where we have to make a stand. And we do it lawfully. We have the right to do that. We have the right to do that. I'll leave it at that. I just want to thank you for the time and any questions. There's so much more that I've witnessed down there and seen with my own eyes, but I mean, we're going on 35 minutes now, and it's kind of a long time. But I just wanted to share that, and I want to thank you, and God bless.